All right. Let's start the class, guys. So first of all, thank you so much for joining the uh, our first session on Azure Data Engineering, right? So I think all of you know me already. So the people who don't know me, let me introduce myself. Hello everyone. I am Abhishek Agrawal. I have done my graduation from NIT Raipur in 2016, and after that I have worked 8 to 9 years completely into Azure data engineering domain. I have done multiple data migration projects from legacy system to Azure cloud, and also I have done the migration from the Hadoop cluster to Spark cluster. Currently, I'm working in Aldi in Germany as Azure data engineer. My voice might feel that I am sleepy, right? Because it's 5 a.m. here. So sometimes it's feel that, yeah, I'm sleepy, but I'm awake, right? So, okay, fine. So now, let's start, right? So in the today's class, in our first class, what we will do is, let me show you the agenda points for today, right? Give me a moment. Okay, fine. So you can interrupt and ask doubt whenever you have any doubt, right? So first of all, what we will do is we will basically understand the overall syllabus. What is the syllabus? And then you guys can ask doubt regarding that. So we'll first go through the syllabus, like what we will be covering in overall class, right? And then we will go through that what is data engineering in general. And because it's like before jumping on the topic, before trying to learn data engineering, it's very important that all of us are very clear about what is data engineering, right? And then we will also understand what are the different roles present in the cloud, so that you guys are also aware that whenever you're working in a project, you will be working with like you will be also working with the different people. So what are their role? What is your role? So that you are very clear about what you have to do. Uh, right. So that should be very clear. So we will understand that. Okay. So we will understand these three things today. Okay, and then we will close the today's call. And if you have any doubt between anything, you can just interrupt me and ask. Okay. So first of all, let's try to understand the syllabus, overall syllabus, right? So the syllabus has been divided into two parts. So first is Azure Data Engineering, and then we have Azure Data Bricks and Spark. So this particular Azure Data Engineering will go for 2 months, and then Azure Databricks and Spark will go for 2 months. Now you can say that, hey Abhishek, in Azure Data Engineering as well, you have Azure Databricks and Spark. So why you are like separating this? So this is being separated because some people don't know about SQL, Python, and all of that, right? So here, like we just try to split this up so that like the people who don't know coding as well can learn Azure Data Engineering course for 2 months, and then they don't go for Azure Databricks and Spark. Okay. So in this particular training, what we will cover, we will basically, so we will start with this module first, and then this will go for 2 months. After that, we will start on this module, and this will again go for 2 months. Okay. And in this particular module, we will mainly focus on Azure Data Factory. So 60 to 70%, 75% of the syllabus will focus on this, which is Azure Data Factory, right? And then we will learn about Azure Synapse. We will also learn about Fabric. We will also learn about very basics of Databricks as well, right? That also will touch upon, and then we'll learn. And then we'll learn about Key Vault, Logic App, Key Vault, Logic App, Okay, and then we will do 3 projects here. And then here in this 2 months module, we will mainly focus on Databricks, Azure Databricks, right? And then we will learn about Spark. So only we'll focus on this. And in this particular module, we'll mainly focus on this. This is our focus, right? We will mainly focus on this, and then we will learn about other topics also at the same time. So now let's go through in Azure Data Engineering syllabus. What are the topics we will cover? And like just let's have a walkthrough on about it. Okay. So give me a moment. Okay. So we will start with Azure basics, such as, hey, what is Azure Active Directory? What is subscription? What is resource group? And all of that. Then we will understand about resources such as, hey, we have a data lake storage. So what is data lake storage? What is the evolution of data lake storage? So we started with the blob storage. Then we have a data lake Gen 2, so, right? And what is the difference between both? Then we will understand what is link service, integration runtime, data set, pipeline activities in ADF. Then we will learn about copy data activity, which is basically how to copy the data, recursive, wildcard, what are the different settings in this, right? And then how to iterate it for multiple files. Then how to copy the data to the SQL server, how to do parameterization of the pipeline, then how to do a lookup, how to do the delta load, how to do a full load, then how to integrate Azure Data Factory with Azure DevOps, and then Git integration, right? Then very basics of Databricks, because Data Factory needs to be integrated with Databricks, so we'll understand about Databricks as well. And then what are delta table, what is Mendelian architecture, lakehouse architecture, and then how to do simple processing about CSV, JSON, XML file in PySpark, Scala, and Python language. Mainly, we will be focusing on SQL and PySpark, and then I will give you the code in Scala if you're interested. But we will mainly focus on SQL and PySpark, okay? And then what is Key Vault? How to integrate ADF with Key Vault? What is if else activity, metadata activity, web activity? What are triggers, right? That we will focus on. And then we will jump upon Synapse. We will understand what is serverless pool, dedicated pool. Then we will understand what is SAR schema, Snowflake schema, how to implement S3 type 2. Then how to send the email alert by using a logic app. Then we will understand about Azure Fabric, OneLake, uh, Lakehouse. Then we will understand about warehouse, Fabric warehouse. And then Spark in Fabric, real-time analytics in Fabric, and then Power BI integration of Fabric, right? So we'll understand all of this topic. Okay. And then we will do 3 projects. So this is our first project, second project, and then third project. This project is mainly focused on Data Factory. This project is mainly focused on Databricks. This project is mainly focused on Synapse. Once we do this and this project you guys can do by yourself, because this is just like a same architecture, everything whatever we have learned can be implemented in Synapse Analytics without any problem, and I will show you how you can do that, right? But this is just like if you understand first and second, you can anyways do this. Okay. All right. Now this is the overview about the syllabus, what will be covered. Now we will understand what is data engineering and also what are the different roles present in the cloud. Before we go into that, anybody has any question regarding anything, whatever I said? You guys can ask me if you have any question.
In this course structure which you have showed, this is only for first 2 months, no?
Yes, yes, this is for only 2 months. Yes. Now let me show you the another 2 months, right? 1 second if you're interested. So for another 2 months, we will mainly focus on this, right? Databricks and Spark. So after we learn Azure Data Engineering for 2 months, we will come on this and then we'll learn Databricks and Spark. So here the focus is only Databricks and only Spark, okay? And whatever Spark knowledge you're getting here, it can be applied to Synapse. It can be so. I will teach on Databricks, but the Spark knowledge which you will get, like Spark optimization or whatever knowledge you get about Spark, can be implemented in like Synapse, can be implemented in like Fabric, can be implemented in like if you're running your Spark cluster on premise, right? You can implement there as well. Can be implemented in Glue, right? Everywhere that can be implemented because Spark works in the same way no matter wherever you're running. It just depends upon the cluster size, right? So now Databricks and Spark architecture we will learn. We will learn about Databricks. We'll learn about cluster administration. We'll learn about RDT data frame API. We will learn about how to convert the pandas into PySpark, PySpark into pandas. We will learn about transformation and actions, DB utils, Delta Lake, Delta table, then views, managed table, unmanaged table, then how to integrate Databricks with DevOps, secret scope, then JDBC connector, Databricks CLI, Spark UI, Medellin architecture, Lakehouse architecture, Spark optimization, UDF, Catalyst optimizer, Spark data frame, dot explain feature, directed acyclic graph, then handling complex JSON, predicate push down, projection push down. All of these topics are optimization techniques, and then repartition, coalesce, data skewness. Guys, please mute yourself. Okay, if you have any question, you can unmute. And then repartition, coalesce, cache persist, data skewness, salting. All of that we will cover, right? Sort, merge, join, broadcast, join, all of this, right? So this is basically Spark optimization technique and Databricks. So in overall 4 month syllabus, if you like what you are learning, you are basically learning Data Factory, Databricks, Spark. Okay, so this is what we are learning. Okay, but like little bit of Fabric, little bit of Synapse, little bit of like warehousing techniques, right? But mainly the focus is Data Factory, Databricks, Spark. That's all. Okay. This is what we will focus on learning. Okay. All right. Now, anybody has any question about anything, guys?
In starting of 2 months, we are not focusing on Spark, right?
No, we will all not learn Spark.
Abhishek, SK here. So, is today's session is going to be something different when we had before we departed for
No,
Deepavali
no,
break? Is it going to be different or is it going to be the
no. It's
same?
same. It's same.
So you're recapping the last week's
Yeah,
session.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now, let's try to understand what is data engineering and what are the different roles present in the cloud. Let's try to understand this. Okay. Um, Okay, so let's try to understand this with some like a simple example. Okay, and then we will also understand different roles present in the cloud with this example only, right? Um, for example, like there's a like we have Walmart has a requirement, for example, that their like the requirement is they want to create a particular dashboard in which they can understand their different KPIs to understand how their business is performing, right? That they want to create. For example, like they want to understand the gross sales, then they want to understand like product of the day. They also want to understand like product of the day, and then they want to understand like customer, like who is buying most of the product, or best customer for the day, or top customer for the day. They want to understand this. And then they want to understand um, margin calculation. So they have different KPIs to basically understand, right? In a simple words. Now they they have the data located in different like places. For example, they have the data in Oracle database because it's Walmart, so ideally a very big company, right? So they have the data located in different source system, which is Oracle, for example, or they have the data in MS SQL, MySQL, MS SQL, MySQL. Okay. And then some data in SharePoint location. So they have the data located in different locations, for example. Okay. Now, what they want to do is they want to create this dashboard. This is the first requirement. So their main problem is like what are the different problem they are facing? So the first problem which they are facing is they want to have create a centralized location to store all the data so that analysis can be done. And second problem is the data is present in legacy system, so not in cloud, for example, right? Not in cloud. So suppose Walmart came to some consultancy firm, right? Or Capgemini or whatever it is, right? So they basically came to a consultancy firm. And then they say that, hey, like the problem is the we have the huge amount of data located in different location, which is SharePoint, Oracle, MS SQL, MySQL, and all of that. Now what we want to do is we want to basically create a dashboard in which we want to understand gross sales, product of the day, top customer, margin, or we have 100 more KPIs that we want to understand day-to-day business, right? That we want to understand, and then we also want to move the data, not like migrate all the data points, but we want to move some of the data points, and then we want to basically move the data points into the cloud, right? Because it has its own advantage. So they said that we want to move the data all in cloud, right? And then make some dashboard, right? So first we want to migrate all the data to the cloud, not all the data, few of the data to make this dashboard, right? So these are the two problem statement. Okay. Now the Walmart will go to Capgemini with this problem statement. Okay. And now what Capgemini will do? Capgemini will basically like yeah. So Capgemini will definitely say that we can solve this problem, and then they will look for a product owner, or like who can basically understand the business, right? Or the problem statement, and then will basically work with Capgemini to solve this problem. Okay. So in your project, there will be a product owner, right, who will basically understand the business requirement, right, and then list down all the requirement of a business. For example, the first problem statement is they want to create a centralized storage of all the data to um, move all the data from SharePoint, Oracle, or MS SQL, or MySQL. And then they want to create a dashboard, right? So he will basically list down the requirement. Then he will also ask questions such as, hey, do you have any preference of the cloud? Do you have any partnership with the cloud? So he will list down all the questions, right? Now, after that, he will basically work with a data architect or a solution architect to understand how this problem can be solved, like a cloud architect. So he will first like list down all the requirement, right? List down all business requirement. And then he will also try to coordinate with um be, like coordinate between business and technical team. Okay. So he will do this, right? And then he will coordinate with the cloud architect. And now the cloud architect job is to technically understand the challenges, which cloud to go for, whether to go for Azure or AWS or GCP, right? And depending upon the SharePoint, Oracle, MS SQL, MySQL, try to understand the budget from the Walmart and understand the data volume, understand whether they are using a streaming data or not. Every second they want to create a dashboard or not, right? So their dashboard should be updated like in real time, or they can wait for a day, right? So he will ask all of this question from the Walmart, right? And then take all this requirements, right, from Walmart. And then he will basically create a architecture flow or architecture diagram to solve this problem. Okay. So he will basically create something like it can be give me a moment. He will try to create architecture like a diagram like this, which is okay. So he will try to create something like this, right? Architecture diagram in which he will say that, hey, first of all, we will move the data to the blob storage, then we will move the data to the Synapse or analysis service, and then do the dashboarding. We will also transform the data in Databricks, right? So he will create some sort of architecture diagram. And from Walmart as well, they will have a technical team. They will try to ask questions around it, right? So they will just try to finalize the architecture diagram. So your job as a data engineer is to not do this. Okay, so sometimes there's a confusion that, hey, we'll create this as well. No, you'll not create this. Okay, in none of the company I have created this architecture diagram. Or my job is not to decide whether to go for Azure or AWS or GCP, right? That is not my job. You will consult with your architect. Somebody will ask you a question, hey Abhishek, what do you feel? Or that kind of a consultation can happen, but you will not work on this, right? Okay, so first is basically the architecture diagram is created, and it is created like that, right? Okay, so first we'll create an architecture diagram. So the like your cloud architect will do that job. Okay. Now, once the architecture diagram has been finalized, right? This is how we will solve this problem. Now we need to deploy all these resources, right? Which we have basically seen. Like all of these resources needs to be deployed. So for example, to start the development, the resources needs to be deployed. For example, like there should be a data factory, there should be people like assigned in subscription, cloud, all of that. Subscription needs to be purchased so that you can start developing in the cloud. All of that needs to happen, right? Now, who will do that, right? So Azure admin will do that. So his job, Azure admin job, is to deploy all these resources, which is finalized. Okay. So he will basically try to deploy all these resources. Okay. So his main job is to create architecture diagram and guide the technical team. He will basically deploy all these resources, deploy all these resources, and take care of authorization, authentication, networking, security, all these things, right? So now, is it my job is to like, is it a data engineer job is to like deploy all these resources, create all these resources? No, in none of the company I have done that. In very few small startup or like a mock POC or whatever I'm working, right? In those cases, I might created a blob storage or created a key vault here and there, right? But it's not like I haven't done it, right? In real time company, like I haven't basically deployed all the resources, take care of how this all the architecture should be secure, right? That I haven't done it. Okay, neither I know how to do it. Okay, all right. So you will be doing this, and when you join a company, no, you won't be doing this. If you're doing this, then you're not like, suppose you joined some small like startup or probably there you can see, but in big MNC or a big company, right, you won't be doing this. Okay. Now the resources can be created, right? It is deployed as well, right? Now basically after that there can be a like more of a business analyst who is basically trying to understand this, right? Try to list down the requirement, right? That can be there. Give me a moment. Okay, there can be business analyst. Okay, and now there can be like a data engineer or 3 4 data engineer. Now, suppose sometimes people ask that, hey, Abhishek, in real time, what would be the number of data engineers working with you, right? So suppose it depends. The data engineer, number of data engineer, or number of business analyst depends upon how big like the data is. For example, like here you have 4 tables, but in every location you have 2 3 table, 2 3 table, 2 3 table, 2 3 table. Then you don't need like many data engineers, right? But suppose in SharePoint location you have like 100 tables. In Oracle database you have 300 tables. In MS SQL you have like 400 table, or here you have 500 table, or like if the size of the data is huge, then you probably need more data engineers, right? Like more data analysts, right? That you need. Okay. Now sometimes there is also confusion that what is the difference between the product owner and then the business analyst. So The difference between a product owner and a business analyst is business analyst will just understand the business requirement, and then he will try to list down what business wants, right? That he will do. Product owner job is to also like understand, hey, whether everybody is working on the right direction or not, right? Whether suppose data engineer is developing, like suppose there are 4 to 5 tasks or 6 tasks, right? So is he working on the first priority task, right? Or he is working on some sort of a task which is not of a priority, right? Right. So that product owner will decide. Okay. He will also try to uh like understand the um the main difference between the product owner and the business analyst is business product owner will care about the product vision. In 4 months we need to deliver this, and then everybody is working on the right direction or not to achieve the common goal, that he will take care. Okay. Business analyst is just to take care of business requirement, deliver the business requirement, that's all. But product owner job is to make sure whether the product is heading into the right direction, and everybody is working on the right direction in priority, that he will make sure. Okay. All right. So now what are the different other roles? For example, like in this particular use case, there can be a data analyst who will create a dashboard. So is your job is to create a Power BI dashboard? No, you won't be doing this. Okay. So there will be a data analyst who will create this dashboard. Okay. Now data engineer and data analyst will work hand to hand in all the company in which I have worked. And suppose if there is a dashboarding project, you will work closely with data analyst, right? Right. So you will basically like day-to-day job is to like understand, help them, right? So these 2 people or 3 people will work together, business analyst, data analyst. You won't be too much in contact with Azure admin, right? You will not discuss much things with them because they will come, deploy resources. That's all right. Their job is done. But you will closely work on business analyst, data analyst, right? Now, if you want to do some sort of like, suppose if you are a data analyst or a business analyst, it is very easy for you to do the career transition to data engineering, right? And also, if you're a data engineer, it is very easy for you to do the career transitioning over there because you are working very closely with them, so you can understand what they are doing, right? And you can also help them to like do some transition as well during the project. Suppose if you feel that your work is a bit boring, you can go over here, work them, help them. That you can do. Okay. Now you can also like suppose if you have some sort of a ML requirement or a machine learning requirement. Suppose the requirement is rather like what is the sales in future, right? Or suppose like do some sales forecasting, right? Or like do some customer segmentation, right? All of that requirement is there, then you need a data scientist. So you will also, if you have a like those kind of a requirement, then you'll work with data analyst as well, who will help you and then who will like take care of all this requirement, right? Then there can be, these are the major roles, right? But there can be like, okay, so there will be one more role which I forget to just say, right? So give me a moment. And then there will be one DevOps guy who will help you to deploy resources from one environment to another environment. Azure DevOps. So like, will you work on deploying the resources from dev environment to test environment to prod environment? Very rarely, in very few projects where you don't have a DevOps engineer, okay? But mostly it will be taken care by Azure DevOps guys, right? All right. And then there can be like one more role, which is suppose if you're working in SAP system or like some sort of suppose SharePoint, Oracle, or you're working all of this system, right? So there can be one person who is trying to help you. Suppose business told that, hey, I need gross sales or I need this. So you need some sort of a technical guy or a functional guy who will help you to understand where this data is stored, whether it's stored in Oracle, whether it's stored in MS SQL, or in some of the company you have dedicated source for each of the like data sources, and then you're contacting them. So you have application owners or a functional guy, right? So who will help you do this? Okay, like um, system owners or something, someone. Okay, all right. So you will be working with all of these people, right, on day-to-day basis, right? But mostly you're working, a data engineer will work with data analyst or a business analyst or data scientist in general. Okay, all right. I hope the roles are clear. Now, suppose in your project, if you ask me, Abhishek, in your project, like currently which you're working upon, how many people are there? So I have a one product owner, uh, then three data engineers are there, four data engineers are there, one data scientist is there. There is no data analyst in my project right now because we are not doing any dashboarding. We are just trying to understand like the sales in future, or like we have a predictive analytics requirement rather than a descriptive analytics requirement. Then we have a centralized Azure admin team who helps in all Aldi to basically deploy their resources, right? So I'm not working one-on-one with them, but rather than we have a centralized admin team, which basically helps all the project, right? Then we have a centralized DevOps team as well, who help all the projects to deploy resources, okay? So I'm working with those guys right now. Anybody has any question or anything, guys?
Yes, Abhishek. So typically, what's the life cycle of this, data engineering projects that you have been working on?
It takes around minimum. I have worked, if you ask me, I worked around like I delivered one project in 4 months, like very minimum. And then
Oh,
I have also worked upon the project in which I worked for around 1.5 year, 1 year, 1.5 year. And it
lovely.
depends upon the size of the data which you're handling, and then how many dashboards are there. It mainly depends upon that.
Exactly, exactly. That's the crucial part. Like, the
Yeah.
size and the volume of the data will be driving.
Yeah.
So once the development is done, is there any, parallel support, roles or like, teams that you will be handing over once, the development work is done?
Yeah, so once the development work is done, sometimes the like company itself take care of all the handover, and then they have a small technical team who take cares of handover, and then they will do the maintenance.
Gotcha.
Sometimes they hire like from Capgemini itself, they don't need all these resources. They need probably one data engineer or one technical guy who can just do ad hoc daily runs, add few columns here and there, do the maintenance. So it can be like your own company who is doing this, and then or yeah, you have like some sort of a consultancy firm who's also doing this, but there is always a technical team or technical one two person who's doing the maintenance.
Lovely. And just last question. So you might have worked with different domains like, finance, or like, banking sector or insurance.
Mhm,
So you might have come across different data sets and, data structures. So
mhm.
what I feel is like, the system owners are like, the, functional people will be very crucial to understand the data structure and, the data that needs to be pulled and, transition into our source or like the destination. So from that point of view, how crucial did you felt like the owners or the data owners will be crucial to understand like provide the support to you guys.
Yeah, they are very crucial. So suppose in mostly like when you're working in SAP system, they are very crucial because the system is huge. You need to also understand the data properly. So they are very like crucial in general. Yeah,
Lovely. Thank you,
you
thank you.
you will be also like close contact with them because whatever data you want to understand, you will be contacting them. If you want to understand entity relationship, you will be contacting them, right? So they are very
Right.
crucial in those
Gotcha.
manner.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Abhishek, for the clarification. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody has any question, guys?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Abhishek. So this is not exactly related to what we have covered, but just a curious question here. Like the content that we saw that so this will be helpful for our DP 700 exam as well, or there would be something different which we will parallelly guiding us.
DP 700.
Mm-hmm. Like Azure Fabric basically.
No, it won't be
Okay.
much helpful for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is related to Fabric, right?
Yes,
This
yes,
syllabus is
yes.
related to Fabric. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever we will be learning, we are not like focusing on Fabric right now, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
won't be much helpful for you if you are planning for like the Fabric part will be helpful for you. And then if you ask me, hey, 10 to 20% can be helpful for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like like whatever Fabric topic we will cover going forward can
Mm-hmm.
help you to crack this exam, but not fully. If you want to prepare this exam, you need to learn separately, right? Because
Okay.
we are not learning data engineering in Fabric. We are learning data engineering in Data Factory, Databricks, and these places, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, why we are not learning in Fabric, right? I started a Fabric course as well, which is fully dedicated on Fabric for two months or 2.5 months, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem over here is like f- Microsoft is trying to advertise their product, which is Fabric, which they have recently created. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if you ask me, like, or if I have many colleagues, right? So Fabric is being used in the production environment right now. No, 90% or 95% of the projects are running in Data Factory, Databricks, Synapse, because
Mm-hmm.
this is newly came, right?
Right, right, yes.
And it's difficult to adapt as well right now. It's not like so much mature right now that we can do everything, whatever we used to do with Fabric directly. That is not there.
Right, right, right.
So we won't be focusing too much on this one. We
Mhm,
will be focusing on data factory and Databricks. If you want to crack this exam, I can give you the sample papers probably, which
mhm.
you can go through. Okay.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Abhishek. And you rightly said that whatever you said, that
Yeah.
the product is not that much accepted for production grade application,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
also found the same with my
Mm,
own research, which I
yeah.
did.
Okay. All
Thank you.
right.
Mm.
Okay, fine, guys. Anybody has another question? Okay. All right. Now, if there's no question, let's try to understand data engineer, right? What he will do now. So he will basically try to first migrate as in move the data. So now in data engineering as well, there are generally you will be doing two kinds of a project, okay? In general, if you ask me in 8 to 9 year, what kind of a projects I have done, right? So the most common project is this itself. You have a dashboarding project, right? For example, you want to move the data from multiple location to one central location to the dashboarding. That is the first common project which you will be doing, okay? Or you will be working on, suppose you want to move the data to the cloud and then you want to do some sort of predictive analytics. That also you will be doing, okay? So let me write it here. Move the data from different location so that we can do descriptive analytics. Like in from from different location into Azure cloud or predictive analytics. And then second is like migrate all the data. Migrate because business don't want to use legacy system. Okay, so business don't want to use suppose MySQL or like the location which they are using right now. So you want to migrate all the data. Okay. So this kind of like generally you will be doing two kinds of a project, right? Mainly I have done the like this project and then this kind of a project, right? So this is a general requirement of all the projects. Okay. Now, what is your day-to-day job? So your day-to-day job is to create a pipeline which can do this movement, okay, from different location to the Azure cloud. So suppose here as well, if you see this, you are using Data Factory, which is a migration tool, right, to move the data from source, right, source or cloud. I have written cloud because you can handle some like SharePoint, you have some SharePoint location or a cloud location. From there, you are moving the data to the Azure cloud. So here, if you see as well, you are doing the same thing. You are trying to use Data Factory and then trying to move the data from different source location to Azure Data Lake, right? That you're doing. And then you are moving the data to the Synapse server, which is a SQL warehouse, and then connecting to a Power BI to do the dashboarding. Okay, so here also you're doing the same thing. Okay. Now let me open one more slide in which it is written, and then we will also try to understand this. Give me a moment. Okay, so here suppose you have a different source system. You are trying to use Data Factory or a Synapse server, because in Data Factory as well you can move the data, using Synapse as well you can move the data, using Fabric as well you can move the data. Is it your job is to decide whether to choose Fabric, Synapse, or Data Factory? No, but like like you can consult about it. Yes, right? Now from here to here you'll move the data, you'll do the transformation, you'll do the dashboarding. So now let's try to. So here now this will make more sense now to you probably. Find the right data for data analyst and data scientist. Suppose data analyst will come to you and say that, hey, I need this particular sales data for in this particular format, and then the sales data should have product category or like so they will tell you all this requirement, right? And then suppose the sales data should have sales unit, or sales data should have like what is the tax amount customer is like business is charging, right? So they will tell you what kind of a data they are looking for, and you need to find the data, you need to check with the system owners, you need to pull the data, you need to make pipeline, all of that you will do. They will create the end output which business can consume, right? And you need to support them. You will basically work on the ETL, which is extract, transform, and load. You will work on data marts, you will create data marts, you will monitor day-to-day pipelines are running fine or not. You will ensure, first and foremost job of a data engineer is to make sure what you're delivering has a good quality, right? So sometimes like we do a so sometimes we work on code quality or like your pipeline performance and all of that so much that we forget about this data quality. Okay, so if you ask me among all of this what is most important, the most important is the what you're delivering, the data quality which you're delivering should be good. Okay, suppose if your pipeline is taking 2 more hours, we don't care, right? I ideally don't care, your data quality should be good. Okay, so your first job is to make sure what you're delivering has a good quality. Suppose if you're serving a food taste, food taste should be good. No matter food is coming after 10 minutes, after 20 minutes, right? Nobody cares about it if the taste, if the food taste is good, right? So here your main job is to make sure that data quality, what you are delivering is good, right? No matter if it is taking 1 more hour or whatever it is, right? So code quality, and then you need to make sure the code quality is good. First, focus on the data quality, then focus on the code quality, or like your pipeline optimization or performance optimization. Sometimes we like when we start developing a project, we take like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month to make sure that my pipeline should run fast, right? Rather than focusing on data quality, you should really focus on data quality. You should write data quality checks. Those are more important than pipeline performance or cost optimization or whatever it is, right? So then implement the data governance policies, data lineage, documents you need to create. So all of that you will do. Your day-to-day job is to do this, okay? Now, what is not data engineering? You'll not work on ML models. Data scientists will work on it. Not work on reports. You'll not work on CI/CD pipeline. You'll not work on the front end application. You'll not work on infrastructure and security. You'll not work on the code quality. Your web development, mobile application. You'll not work on this. Okay. So during the class, right, we will be creating resources because we need to develop right now, right? So we will be creating resources, but in real time company, it will be done by us. No, now because in whenever we are learning, we will not go into the topics such as networking, security, how to authenticate, how to authorize, right? All of that we will not learn. We will only learn few parts of it whenever, like, I will tell you how to whitelist IP, right? So few of the things we will learn, but not we will not go deep into this, okay? And I suggest you also don't go into very technical details of it. You just try to understand the data engineering side of it. If you're curious enough, you can just go and ahead and learn, but don't go deep into this. Sometimes I'm creating data factory and then there are 10 more options, and when people are just learning about each of the option, right? It won't be helpful for you in real time job because you won't be doing this. Neither it will be helpful for you in the interview, okay? But if you are curious enough, you can go ahead and learn, right? That's not a problem, okay? All right, guys. So now, anybody has any question about anything, guys?
Abhishek, what is the difference between moving the data from legacy system to the cloud and migrating the data from legacy system to the cloud?
Okay, all right. Let me tell you the difference. Sometimes, like, there can be two requirement, right? Suppose somebody will say that, hey, I don't want to use, like, suppose the business is storing the data in my MS SQL server. Then they are saying that I don't want to, I am like, after 2 months, I want to remove the system completely. I don't want to use this. So you will migrate everything to the cloud. Whatever, suppose you have 10 tables here, you will migrate everything to the cloud, and then so that business can check out the system completely, right? So that is the first requirement. We call it as a data migration. This is data migration. Data migration is migrating all the data, whatever you have in MS SQL, and then you have some sort of a time limit. Yeah, till this point, I want to check out the system. Now this is a data migration. Another requirement is I want to understand gross sales, product order rate, top customer margin. This I want to make in the Power BI, right? So to satisfy this requirement, you will just move some part of a data, like you will move the sales data, you'll move the product data, or you'll move the customer data or a margin data. That only you'll move, so that, and then from here as well, you'll move this data, you will move this data, you'll move this data, so that the dashboard can be made. But you'll not migrate all the data, right? You'll just move the data which is enough for you to satisfy the requirement. But the business will be keep on using MS SQL. They're happy with MS SQL right now. They don't want to check out the system. Okay. So first is just satisfying the requirement, like to fulfill the requirement. That is the first requirement. The second requirement is you rather want to migrate everything, right? That is a data migration you want to do. Is it clear?
Yes, it is clear. And I have one more doubt. You are shown the real picture of how the company work. Is in every company, does we have data architect, data engineers, business analyst, or a single person need to do all the tasks?
No, no. So, um, like in some of the so in all the company, mostly in which I have worked, you will have a cloud architect, you will have a data engineer, you'll have a Azure admin. So definitely you'll have a cloud architect. You won't be designing architecture diagram for your company. Definitely you will have a data engineer, right? And then definitely you'll have a data analyst. In very few companies, you will be doing this if it is the project is not big enough. You can just do some Power BI visualization as well. Um, DevOps engineer sometimes we don't hire, right? So you will not see this. So in like suppose 50% of the project, you will not see a DevOps engineer because like yeah, so they will tell data engineer to do it, or they are just not doing a continuous integration, continuous deployment. Rather than that, they are doing manual work. So they will tell you, hey, you developed the pipeline. Now you only move this pipeline to production environment by just manual like copy paste and those things, right? Because like yeah, so they are not working on continuous integration, continuous deployment, but it is manual in 50% of the project. But if they are following standard practice, then you'll have a DevOps engineer as well. Azure admin is definitely there. So this is definitely there. Business analyst can be there, cannot be there, right? So like because they can work with data analyst only. But definitely you'll have a data engineer, Azure admin, cloud architect, product owner. These are common. Product owner, Azure admin, data engineer, data analyst. These are the common roles. But DevOps engineer can be removed. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Anybody has any other question?
Yeah, Abhishek, I have one doubt basically. So you said like the Azure Data Factory is using for the creating the pipeline. So using this Azure Data Factory only, we are moving the data.
Yeah.
Okay, thank.
So data factory will help you to move the data. It will not store the data. It will move the data. It will help you to just like migrate the data or move the data from point A to point B. That is what the data factory will do. And then you can do the similar job in Fabric. You can also do the similar job in Synapse. Okay. Anybody has any question, guys?
Yeah, this is Gulam. Regarding the data quality, right? So you are saying that we need to be make sure we need to be have right written something
Hmm.
to be checked for the data quality.
Mhm.
So what will be the basic things that we have to be really look into and make sure that we are covering those things?
So like what is really important is what you're reporting. So suppose for example, like because you are moving huge amount of data. So
That's correct.
can you check each data points? No, you cannot check
No.
each data points.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to really check is suppose I am reporting gross sales to the business, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
need to really make sure that gross sales numbers are correct. So the sales table which I am moving, is it like I can check from the business that hey, what is your day-to-day gross sales like roughly can you tell, right? That I will ask them. And then I can just run my checks in my own system that hey, if they're telling me the gross sales is around 1.3 million on year-to-year manner, whether I am getting that in my system as well. Now I will do a drill down. For example, like yearly they are telling 1.2 million. Then in the region level or in business unit level, suppose Walmart has 10 stores. So in the store level as well, is it matching or not? That I will check. Now the second check which I can also make is um, whether I have all the stores in my data. Like suppose Walmart has 10 stores in Germany. So whether I do have a distinct stores in my data that I can check. I can also check whether I don't have any null count, like all the columns are not null. So based upon like the business requirement, what is what you're reporting to business, like that you will make sure that yes, you'll run some, and then you will not do this in the start of the project. Like very start, you'll not write the project. You'll first develop, then you will check with data scientists, hey, what are the KPIs which is very very important for you, which we need to like report on day-to-day manner, and what is crucial for the business, because business don't also check every KPI on day-to-day manner. So
Right.
you will basically check with your data scientist or a data analyst, and then you will try to make sure that the data quality of those crucial data points are very like it should be very correct. So you will write data quality on top of that.
So, but where we are testing it, like in production or before coming into the production, before the ETL,
You will run
or
it on day-to-day manner. So you will write the data quality checks, and those data quality will be checks will be running on the production as well on weekly or daily, right? So suppose your project is developed, and then you'll write your data quality checks. That also you'll run on day-to-day manner or a weekly manner. So it will run on the production as well. Because suppose once you develop a project, your data quality can be messed after that as well. Suppose
Mhm.
somebody added a column or somebody removed something, or suppose you're doing a filter on, you're saying that hey, select star from this table where this field is null, but it is, instead of null, it is blank now, right? So that can mess around your data now. So your data quality checks should be running on day-to-day manner in the production, and also during the development you'll write the data quality check which you'll run on production on day-to-day manner. Okay, is
Thank
it
you.
clear for you or no?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Okay,
fine.
okay, fine guys, anybody has any question? Now this is my own experience. So currently I joined a project in which, like, we have like 6 7 developers, right? And then we basically we wanted to deliver one particular dashboarding project, right? And then we have huge amount of data. So now this, like, in this team 2 3 people are just like, hey, I want to write best code possible. And then they are just like 1 month they are just trying to write function parameterization or calling function here and there, and then they're not focusing on, man, just try to deliver a data, simple data which is good enough, right? So, and then product owner should really like tell that hey, the data should be delivered first with a good quality, and then you work in the site to improve it, make it better and all of that, right? So the first job as a data engineer is to make sure what you're delivering is good, has a good quality. Okay, and then data governance policies are also like, so yeah, when you're delivering a project, it is secure, you are maintaining ACL, access control list and all of that, which you will learn going forward, right? That is also important. Okay, all right. Okay guys, so now we will conclude it here. Tomorrow what we will do, tomorrow we will try to learn about how to like get into Azure, right? So how to create Azure subscription, what are the subscription, what is IaaS, SaaS, PaaS, public cloud, private cloud, and then what are the resources, right? What is Azure Intra ID, and then how to like assign user to Intra ID, right? All of that we will learn tomorrow. Thank you for joining the class. Let's meet tomorrow and then continue from there. Okay. And if you have any question, I'm still here. I can answer those questions. If not, then let's meet tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Abhishek, I have followed your LinkedIn account. Can you just write on post regarding the general data quality checks which we are generally following in
Yeah.
the projects?
Okay, I will write it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining the call. Any more question, guys? Anybody has any question?
Just one question, kind of like,
Yeah.
we already created the ETL and everything is done, but
Mm-hmm.
due to some reason, the client changes, added an extra column. He didn't add it at the end, but he added in the middle
Mm-hmm.
without notifying us,
Mm-hmm.
and our systems are getting failure, right? Because it's not matching whatever expecting. The schema is different.
Mm-hmm.
So in that scenarios, I mean, what will be the best approach to be guided that even the vendor or customer or even our uh, architects or whoever responsible persons are, how do you handle this kind of stuff?
You're saying that somebody added a column
Right.
and
We
then
are,
your pipelines are getting failed.
that's right. We are getting the data from the client, right? The client, but due to some reason when they are extracting the data, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, a new person joined or something, he messed up with a column, then he added an extra column in between, not even
Mm-hmm.
end.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the new files with that new structure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the whole thing is just messed up. I mean, we couldn't get the data. So, in this scenario, then how do you handle this? I mean, do you have, it's something happen like this one with you or?
So first thing is like I will try to make sure that the like suppose there are two kinds of a thing. First is the day-to-day operations of the business is getting affected by this or
Yep.
not. So
Mhm.
that you need to make sure. Suppose you are doing some sort of a dashboarding, then it won't be too much of a like you need to so suppose when you're doing a dashboarding you need to understand that hey which particular KPI can affect their day-to-day operation. For example, are you reporting something inventory wise that hey they are looking at the dashboard, then they are doing a calculation on next day what they need to order. So if that is getting affected you need to make sure that like so suppose if that is not affected, you can take some time to fix that. You can just try to like understand and then try to fix it. So first you need to check with the business, is it affecting their day-to-day operation? If it is not affecting their day-to-day operation, then you can basically take some time or try to like discuss with your PO that hey, I will need 1 day to figure out this. But if their day-to-day operations are getting affected, you need to so you can also get the data from the source directly and then try to add it in your pipeline somewhere to fix that. So if so you can judge the thing from two ways, whether it is affecting their day-to-day in operations. If they're not, if yeah, so you can make a call accordingly, and then you inform your product owner that I need this much amount of time to fix that, right? So you can take that call accordingly.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, fine, guys. I will conclude it here. Thank you so much. See you then. Bye. Anybody has any question, guys? Or we can close the call. Okay, fine. So see you then. Thank you so much. Bye. I will upload the recording uh in the location and then inform you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Rishi.
Thanks. Bye.